Okay, so it's Sunday morning. Got my pencil in my ear, ready to go. Um, Tried streaming the Formula One race, but there was rain and it was delayed, and then it took me forever to get my laptop and my phone to get the data on my phone. And then I got it working twice. The second time the race had already started, but I kept getting a spinning wheel. So I guess the data or the internet up here isn't good enough, I guess, because the screen's bigger. I'm not entirely sure, but anyways, it was time to get to work. I sharpened a couple of my planes. So I use yeah. There's actually just water in that can. I use it because the coarser stone there, I had to add water to it as I was doing it. So it's not like I'm drinking this morning. Anyway, so those are the water stones, and I use them, and then the leather. There's a leather strop here that I use. I should have some compound that I can put in there to get it really sharp, but it's been sharp enough. I had to take a piece. You can see all the shavings on the floor, try and save them for a fire starter. Just to get this bottom piece in, right? It's a very small piece, but all the boards together go up to the top, equal 8 feet, and the floor to ceiling is 8'1". So that's enough that I need to get it started. So what I've also got this piece in, nailed on the bottom and nailed on the top. I used my pancake compressor to get my air pig up to, I think, only about 100 psi, or let's see what it says here. Let's see this upside down. Yeah, here. I don't know what that. Yeah, it's just over 100. I mean, it takes a long time. I wish there was an easier way for me to connect the in. So I use my regular compressor to put the first boards in, but like I said, it leaks, so it doesn't last very long. So yeah, I gotta cut around that receptacle for the next board. So I'll be going up this wall mostly, and then when I have short pieces, then I'll be using them up this wall. And I may record some of it. It's just that kind of tedious just looking at it, but I can record the progress. Okay, this is what I've got done so far. Still just the starter piece down there. Not exactly sure what I want to do, other than keep working on this wall. I've got a few full-length pieces in here. I may keep doing that. Problem is right now, if I get to this shorter wall here, you should be doing your long pieces first. But what I might do to get this wall, because I like to get the corner done, is go through all my the boards that I have and just pick out ones that I think will fit there. Just otherwise I got to work on the insulation again, and I'm not too sure that I want to do that. I don't know. But I think for right now, I'm just going to finish this wall behind me. So this is the last couple of boards here. Except for the top piece. I'm going to leave the top piece out because I'll make all those cuts at the end. Fortunately, these lengths work out good for 12-foot pieces. The problem is when you get 12-foot pieces, it's also gets kind of difficult to put them in. I also have to keep an eye on where I am at the top. Because not every piece of wood is the same, and the way you nail it all isn't perfectly the same. So you could get a situation where you're closer to the top at one end than the other. So when you end up planing the piece down to make it fit at the top, it looks really kind of messed up. You know, like that's why we don't like to have little slivers at the top and the bottom, and that's what I talked about before. Ow. And I'm bouncing here. Tight. Over here is a tough spot because I don't know, something ended up high here. It's been really hard to get that out. Yeah, see, it's high by quite a bit. Dang. Sometimes the end of a board can kind of pop up. Nope, it's not going down anymore. The end of a board can pop up, and then everyone after that is a bit higher. It's wood, it's not always perfectly straight. Yeah, right. That's why you should always try and nail from both sides, because if you just start on one side all the time, yeah, I got quite a bit of difference here. Dang. Should have worked on fixing that up sooner. That didn't mark the wood. See, like if you put a gap, you don't really see it much because it's tongue and grooved, so that's as much gap as I can put in there. Otherwise, that's going to look more obvious. And also, remember I said I cut the plastic here. So I've been using clear silicone instead of the white. Just because if it gets on the wood or somewhere where you can see it, it's clear and not white. I also have different options for doing that. So the ceiling is going to be drywall with, hopefully I can get some of that reflective paint, very reflective paint, make it brighter in here. So I can put a J-mold up here and run the drywall into that, which works good at the edges because the edges of the drywall are dinted in. So if I start a full sheet on that outside wall, it would really look stupid if you just left it dinted in. You either have to cut it, so that two ways of doing it would be to cut the edge of the sheet all the way down to get rid of the little indentation, the taping indentation, where it goes in so you have room for taping, or cut it, put it in tight, and then plane the pine boards to fit in perfectly, which can be a real nuisance, especially with tongue and groove. Now, the other thing that can be done is you run the pine all the way up and you run J-mold around the outside. You can even leave a shadow line, like even a quarter of an eighth of an inch. And then you tape up to that, and then it's kind of like the ceiling and the pine are two separate things. Kind of rather do something like that than, you know, I don't want to put a molding on the top. It's just adding extra. Kind of like the look of the pine by itself. So I'll probably go the J-mold route. Like, it just makes it a bit easier. However, still, as far as cutting the pieces along the top go, come on. Oh. No, a full piece will still go in up here. And another one. Anyways, as far as putting the J-mold in there, then I just cut the top piece and I can have a quarter of an inch gap to the ceiling, which is also good because this stuff's going to expand and contract. Right? It's going to swell up in the summer. Probably pretty swollen right now because there's a lot of dampness in here. Because of the basement picks up dampness. You know, it seeps in through the rock. Sometimes when it rains, we get water in it. Figure the way to get rid of it is to so it's the level of the rocks, the way the rocks are dished. Some of the dished out parts, as if, let's say, there was no building here in the first place and it was just sitting there, you would see water would sit there regardless. So if I fill it full of cement higher than where the water would sit, the water, instead of running in side here to the lowest level of that little hole in the rock, it would go outside instead. And then I wouldn't get water in the basement. So that would mean pouring concrete. Which is a lot of work. I want some help. Yeah, pour some concrete in even a ½ an inch higher than the water level, and the water shouldn't come in then. That'll keep the basement a bit drier. But it's nice and cool in here still. That did not. Again. Okay. Not going in right. I might be running out of air too. When in doubt, use a hammer and a nail. Awkward nailing that's this high. I was gonna say with the air nailer, but even with hammer and nails. Yeah, I have the claw of that nail sticking up a little bit there. Good. And here too, but I want it higher here anyways. See what measurement I have now. 10 1/4. Gap there. And even though I have a big gap, it's 10 1/2. So I can't have a gap that big. Getting better, but still not what it should be. But like I said, you really it'll be hard to notice, and yet increase the gap in these boards. Going high too. Okay, I got room for one more board up there. This one I'll splice together. Okay. Okay, so I got started this morning. This may be my last morning here. I'm not too sure. I want to get done what I wanted to get done. So I got the one wall finished yesterday. Phone went kind of funny there. Anyway, so I got this wall done yesterday, except for the top board. And then today I pre-cut all these boards. So I went up pretty quick. Guess I could have videotaped that. I don't know. I guess sometimes I watch my Self-Reliance and I watch the guy work, and it's kind of like, I don't know. Is that boring? Or you guys can let me know if you want to watch me put these boards up. Anyway, so I've got this here, or post. You can still see the saw marks in there on that. I think I got enough of it off so that when I sand it, like I can sand it from the outside here and just get right up there with a, I could probably use a better sander than the one that I had. I also, the plastic sticking out of the bottom, I got rid of that right away. I have a spot upstairs in the closet where it got pulled away. I don't know, maybe the caulking sticks really good. You can see it's up there, right? Like I like to do this all at once because the caulking is soft, and when I nail it in, it, you know, it squeezes the caulking out of the way, but then the caulking forms. It's not like I break the seal afterwards. I just went a little bit high with the caulking there. That'll probably be okay. Then the next thing, you know, take a break, and then it's this corner here. You know, plastic the bottom underneath the window. Seal that all, and then start out with some long boards on the bottom, and then just cut them back until I get to that window, and then go up to the top. I don't know if I'm going to go through or not. I'm not 100% sure if, you know, if I stay today or not. I really don't want to get into doing that right now. Muscles are sore and stuff. Anyways, that's it for now. I almost forgot my caulking. Well, I did, but it'll be okay as long as I get it in there. What's this? Yep, I'm on the wrong side of that one. I think that's about as far as I can get, or I'm going to get. This is done without getting it all over my fingers. Base to have a sharp hand plane. I just sharpened it before I got started on this. End grains. Sharpen plane. really sharp plane. How are we now? Much better. So what I do here, instead of measuring floor to ceiling, I just, that's level. Put the level on as I'm going up. Because the house is level, right? As I said before, framing other than one framer. Really, you know, framing took a long time, but sure it's a lot better than most of the framers that I've hired in my life. Pretty much all of them except one. It's really nice when things line up for you. I guess they gotta make their money though. I tended to supervise them a lot too, to make sure that there weren't any mistakes, but then you can't, you know, you can't always be there, and you know, to go through, my dad told me this, wait till everyone goes home, all the framers are gone, take a level, go through. They're not there to get in your way. Next day you go and tell them, that's a level, you got to fix that. Check for blocking to make sure they're putting blocking in everywhere. Make sure they did that. But here I don't have to worry about that because I did the framing. Well, me and help. I supervised. Let's check the level on that again. Yeah, now we're going. See, nothing is ever perfect here. Like the boards can't be 100%, and you get like a multiplication of error. You know, one's off here, and the next one is hopefully I didn't cut too many boards. Thought I counted right. Yeah, I'll use this tool. Ladder, I mean. Maybe I did cut too many. Damn, that wasn't too smart. this with a level. Good. Here I nail into the side here, just to make sure it gets in the caulking really good. And this will be covered up by trim anyways around the outside of the window. I haven't decided what to use, but we have a lot of swamp ash in this forest. Wow. Perfect. Can't believe it. And it's very different wood. I've talked about it before. It's yeah, it's very different wood than anything I've encountered before. Oh, I got a mosquito following me around in here. Black flies, they come in, they don't. They go for the windows or something. You very rarely bite. But mosquitoes, they like it in here. It's nice and cool and dark out of the sun. Let's check this with a level. Push down that side a bit. Button around my head now. You lousy. So, that's it for this time up here. My shoulders and all that get pretty sore after a while. Got it done to there. So, next I have to go back and cut all that insulation back, which is a horrible job, but I got to do it. And then I've got to put the plastic up, wrap it around there and seal it in on this wall. And then fill that in with pine. I have lots of pine. I was afraid I was running out. And then Barbara will be up with me and we can move all this drywall out of the way and do this wall. I'll have to put a couple of receptacles in there. Figure out the wiring for that. I need an electrician help. And then going in the hallway would probably, because what I do is I line the boards up and then fit them together so that they look like one board, like at 45 of them around the corner. And And then I'll have to wait until I finish framing this in. This will be a little closet here where the front of where the ladder is, and then there'll be a wall framed in, and then I guess since they seem to have a lot of pine, I'm going to continue the pine on that wall there. And then in the kitchen, I don't know, I'm thinking of drywalling the bottom because it'll be covered with cabinets, and then just doing pine on the top, and then do this wall all in pine because they seem to have lots of pine. I probably ought to measure it, but I'll wait till I get so far, and then definitely this wall here, that's going to be done in pine. And then if I leave the upper part of the kitchen, just put some shelves up in there for plates and stuff like that. Maybe it'll kind of look kind of rustic and kind of neat in a way, and then just have bottom cabinets in there. And for our we'll have a induction stove that'll run off of our battery pack for solar, a fridge, an upper freezer part, lower fridge part. There's just a regular one. They're cheap and they're usually really energy efficient. You can spend a whole lot of money and get a more energy efficient one, but it's not a whole lot more energy efficient. Then there'll be like the cabinets in the bottom, and for baking we'll be using a toaster steam oven. They have convection. The steam really makes a big difference for doing most cooking, and like the induction stovetop is good for the environment. Then out there we're going to put our kitchen just on that corner. We're going to add a 6x6 little room, put a roof on it. I think I'll use post and beam construction, and then we'll have that cooktop there in there, and I have a what's that, a Kamado grill. Yeah, I think it's called a Kamado grill. Anyways, it's really great for smoking stuff. There's that mosquito again. Damn it. Anyways, it's had smoked chicken salad when I came up here, and it really, really does taste fantastic. And smoked pork. I just love the smoked meat. Smoked it for about 8 hours at a low temperature. And that's going to come up here, and that'll be used for baking even in the winter. And then we'll have the big gas stove out there. I mean, it's propane. There's a lousy thing. Propane isn't quite as bad for the environment as natural gas, because natural gas is methane, and methane is 60 times worse for global warming than carbon dioxide. It's back again. Propane is something they get when they take crude oil and make it into gasoline, or take natural gas and make natural gas. It's a byproduct, so it's really not. I mean, it's still there's still a carbon footprint. Like to get rid of it completely, but it's not nearly as bad as, like I said, natural gas or that. So propane's not bad. Gonna try and do everything with solar in here, and then, you know, we'll use propane where we have to, like the stove out there. Okay, so until next time, see ya.